Why should you run a race? To challenge yourself physically? To meet new people with similar interests? To run further than you ever have? To quickly explore new cities? Maybe for the medal, swag, and free bagels? To test your limits and see how fast you can run? To be able to say you did it? For the runner's high you get? Because you just find it simply to be fun? To learn about yourself through entering the so-called pain cave? Every single person who decides to run will have different reasons why they choose to run, choose to race, and continue the passion. I run races for all the reasons I mentioned, although each race does not share all these whys. But the one thing running a race does for me is that it keeps me consistent with running, and I hope I can motivate you to find your why with racing, but also encourage you to be a human being with running and understand that your reasons for racing can always change as your life changes. In this series, I will be an honest and real critic on the marathons I do, as over time I hope to do a marathon in every state and some internationally as well. This will give the Run Breiter community knowledge and motivation about these races. So this way, if you choose to invest into them, you know what you're walking into, or that is running into. Alright, welcome to the video. For those who might be first-time viewers today, my name is Sam Breiter and I am the founder of Run Breiter, which is essentially a digital brand where I'm creating content on multiple platforms where my goal is to educate, motivate, and entertain as many runners as possible. And the purpose of this video is to talk about my experience running the New York City Marathon and give a full review. Now, if you've seen the other two videos I posted regarding my marathons that I did where I did rate those races, I also combined it with the video showing the full recap of my experience. I have a separate video for that for New York City, and that's going to be how it is moving forward, where we have the recap video showing all the clips and highlights of the actual experience, and then we have a separate video where we just show the rating. Enjoy the review. Let me know your feedback. If you don't agree with something I say, I'm cool with that. If you have different opinions, drop a comment. Also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see higher quality content being produced, leave it a like, give me a subscribe. It's just going to help grow the channel. And so as the page grows, I want to be able to invest more in it to be able to create higher quality content over time. So by you doing that, it's just going to simply help that mission. Regarding the course, wow, oh wow. If you've never been to New York City, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. And guess what? As someone who has lived in New York City for almost 2 years now, it still blew my mind. 26.2 miles, 5 boroughs, and about 50,000 people, starting from Staten Island and ending in my personal favorite part of the city, Central Park. Every part of the city has a different vibe, culture, community, and when you run this race, you will truly feel and embrace that. If you're pumped up by a good crowd, well, I promise you, there's going to be very few parts where there's going to be no crowd. Millions of people with constant surprises and energy being thrown at you every single second is the feeling that I had. And this is by considered the most famous and best marathon both in the country and in the world because of the course and the crowd. So because of that, I give the course a 9.9 out of 10. Regarding the value, New York City is one of your more expensive marathons, but what in New York City isn't expensive? Pre-tax for New York Roadrunners members, you could expect the race to be about $255 and non-Roadrunners members $295. And that's if you get in through the lottery or qualifying. Many people end up spending more between raising money for a charity or doing the 9+1. Although I do truly think you get a lot back for this race. One being the shirts that they give you, which this year were a high quality dry fit long sleeve, as well as instead of giving you the generic foil wrapper they give after a typical marathon to warm you up, they give an actual jacket blanket that was a higher quality one than I've ever seen after a race. The medals are pretty traditional but are still very nice, but you can expect to get a lot of other free gear and running fuel by attending post-race week events in the city, the expo, as well as having high-quality food and drink options before, during, and after the race. There was also businesses that were doing things like medal engravings for free and giving out free meals, drinks for up to a week after the race for anyone who showed up to their establishment with their medal. To add, this is a world major marathon. For those who want to become a 6-star finisher or simply say they've completed the New York City Marathon, I do think there is value in that. Plus, you're running a race that is truly done in the highest class of professionalism. So because of that, I give the value of the course a 9.4 out of 10. Regarding the experience, what makes this race worthwhile is the community and organization. If you're looking for the Super Bowl of running, find your way in this race. The course is far from flat, so a PR may be a challenge, but that doesn't affect the rating, but it is worth noting. The staff of New York Roadrunners simply puts on a safe and well-managed race, and for the New York City Marathon, that reaches a new level. Taking the 5 a.m. bus from Manhattan to Staten Island was a breeze. There was some sitting around and waiting, but I'd rather be early than late. As spoken about, you will have plenty of provided options to stay hydrated and fed before, during, and after the race. Considering all the people that needed to be managed, both running and spectating, and the liability of hosting a marathon, especially in unusual heat conditions for a November in New York City, this experience was flawless. My only ask for the race organizers is to continue to find ways to innovate this experience, to consistently for years to come, keep this race best in class. So because of that, I give my experience a 9.9 out of 10. So when we consider all the scores, the cumulative score comes out to a 9.73 out of 10. That's an incredible score. Out of the 3 marathons I've done, this has been by far the best race I have done, even though my time was the worst. If you're going to do any marathon, I highly recommend the New York City Marathon. It's a can't miss opportunity. If you plan on doing the 2023 New York City Marathon, let me know. I just completed New York Roadrunners 9+1, so I am eligible for the 2023 New York City Marathon. I'll be likely doing it either in 2023 or 2024, depending on what my race schedule is looking like, how I'm feeling over the next couple months. But what I'm excited to say is we do have some marathons coming up that we will be reviewing. I will be running the Miami Marathon at the end of January, as well as the Austin Marathon in the middle of February. So expect 2 videos to come out shortly after those races with those experiences. And if there's marathons that you'd like me to do, let me know. Maybe I'll give it a shot. And as always, don't forget to run brighter. And we'll be back with more here real soon. Thanks, everyone.